terms, continuing somehow the conversation which we had yesterday about infinity and enlightenment, do you have kind of enlightenment in Sufism, and what is the main purpose of human life according to Sufi?
Well, in my Sufi tradition, and I can only speak for my own, there are roughly 40 major Sufi orders. And I'm our order is maybe one of 25 branches of one of the 40 main orders, to give you an idea of how complicated
I know so.
In our order, the fundamental goal is to serve creation, to cultivate oneself as a spiritual being, to, in a sense, develop one's own compassion and service, to be more and more to feel God's presence in one's life. And in a way to worship God with both formal prayer, but also through service, through study.
I remember what I was asking you yesterday, that you put kind of model like a table with stages in Sufism, but I don't remember all of that, and almost I remember just nafs you
Sure.
said, and some maybe couple of first.
Well, there are 7 levels of the nafs according to most Sufi teachers, and I've had several publications in which I've explained it in some detail. The notion of the nafs is really a notion of transforming the self. So you start out with the sort of immature, self-centered, narcissistic self, which all children sort of start with, and a lot of adults never get out of. And you slowly go through these 7 stages of transformation until you reach the pure nafs, in which the personality is no longer, it's almost as though the personality is no longer an obstacle. It's like watching a movie with a glass in front of you, and at first the glass is dirty. It really obscures half the movie or all of the movie, and it gets cleaner and cleaner, and finally at the very end it becomes spotless, and it's as though there's no glass there at all. There's nothing between you and the movie or the world. And so in the Sufi tradition, one can get to the state of being that pure, and not having your experience distorted. Now, is that actually a final state? I don't know. Do I know anybody who's ever gotten there? I don't know.
So you don't know, as these teachers which you described, where they on the last stage or not?
No,
Because
it's like asking a 5-year-old child about the maturity of a 50-year-old woman or a 50-year-old man. How will a 5-year-old know?
No,
but can a 5-year-old make a judgment about the state of inner maturity of an adult?
Yeah, that's clear. Maybe.
They don't have the ability to make that discrimination.
I mean, maybe they were sharing. They were telling you that they reached this stage.
They would never say that. I doubt if they would say it. Well, it's like in the Tao Te Ching. They say those who know don't say, and those who say don't know. My teachers said anything about what stage they're in, and the whole business of stages is partly so students can have a little bit of a map of this lifelong journey. One of my teachers, Sefer Effendi, our second head sheikh that I worked with, said, that final stage, very few people ever get there. It's the stage of the great world teachers, of the great prophets, of the greatest saints. He said it's very hard to take the I out of yourself. Because that's almost the last thing to go, to have any sense of separate personality. As far as I can tell, my teachers all had perfectly lovely personalities. They lived in a normal world of duality, pretty much the same as the rest of us, and occasionally could move out of it, but it's not like they lived 24 hours a day in a state of non-duality and sort of no self. Not as far as I could tell. It didn't mean they couldn't go there, but I think partly even if a teacher can go there, it's inappropriate to be there most of the time. I think most people need dualistic teachings because they can't understand anything.